economists traditionally have measured just what goes on in the money economy. Sociologists have for many years been studying work much more broadly, looking at unpaid work as well as paid work, and doing it empirically through time use research, and in particular through the sort of time diary research that my centre specialises in. And it's precisely that sociological work that is increasingly being adopted by empirical economists who are trying to understand how the real economy really operates. The remarkable finding is that when you add the paid and the unpaid work together, there's been very little change over the last 30 or so years. And most remarkably, men and women do almost exactly the same amount of work, paid plus unpaid. There's hardly a percentage point of difference between the minutes of paid work per day or per week done by men and women. And this applies not in every country, but certainly in the northern part of Europe and in North America and in Australia. I think that the totals being equal does not imply any sort of gender equality, because of course while men do more unpaid work than they did and women do less, still women do much more unpaid work than men do. That emerges particularly when you look at the withdrawal of women from the labour force around the time of childbirth, either the first or the second child. And it's that withdrawal from the labour force at particular points in the life course that generates substantial inequalities. I think what we need to think of is second wave feminism. It's not merely equality in the workplace, first wave feminism. Second wave feminism is equality at home. The men should be looking after the babies just as much as the women, and until they do, there won't be economic equality between men and women. Yeah. And public policy has to promote exactly that. And serious post-feminists, second wave feminists should be promoting that sort of public policy. We've got about 50 years of time use data now. And I would say that we're perhaps halfway to gender equality from the old pre-1950s gender inequality. Why does it take so long? Well, for obvious reasons. We develop our sense of what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman, from our parents, just as our parents did from their parents. And it's only very slowly that we adapt to the implications of changes in the wider economy. And I think there's another 20 or 30 years before we arrive at a full equality. And we won't ever do that unless public policy is adjusted to enable appropriate full sharing of parental and other responsibilities between men and women.